Yo, you're talking to your mother. Show a little respect, will you? You only got one mother. Take care of
her. Christian Car Guy Radio Show.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud.
A 1928 Ford, that's my mother, dear. She helps me through everything I do, and I'm so glad she's here. My mother the car. My mother the car.
Who could forget My Mother the Car with Jerry Van Dyke? It's Mother's Day weekend. And in the opening theme, you may have heard my friend Vinny Menino. He sometimes referred to as the Godfather, telling us to show a little respect. Well, those were actually both past shows that I did on Mother's Day weekend. And I got to do those shows when my mother was still alive. And I hope yours still is. But I can still honor my mother, who loved this show. She would call in at least once a month, and so I have lots and lots of audio over the 10 years that she did that. But I get to do a little 3-minute of the highlights of those. This is my mother calling in with a little tribute to the Christian car mom, Marge Gibbets. Oh, there's a story there. Grandma and Grandpa put you, my amazing mother, out on the side of the road?
Yes.
Well,
my sister and I were fighting in the back seat, and we were warned many times, if you don't stop that, we're going to leave you by the side of the road. So they did.
How did they get out of sight before they came back and got you?
Yeah, they got out of sight. They went around the next turn and waited for us, and we didn't show up. So they got scared, and they turned around, and we were headed back home. We weren't going to you. Anyhow, I hope you hear about lots of good songs.
Good morning.
And good morning, Dr. Sonny.
Good morning, Mom. I always like hearing your voice. You have some great stories, and you tell it like it is. I guess with a boy like Robbie, you got to.
I think one of the worst feelings in the world as you're driving down the road is that thump, thump, thump of a flat tire. And I believe that the Christian life is supported by 4 tires. And when you don't have them all inflated and taken care of, your life is out of skew, out of balance.
Yes.
And they are prayer, reading your Bible, Bible study with a group, and worship.
Wow.
And my spare tire is service in the name of the Lord.
Yes.
And when I got to the top of this road that was a switchback with no guardrails, I saw police lights at the bottom. So what do you do when you see police lights? You put on the brakes. Bad idea. I completely rotated the car, an old 40-something Buick, 4 times going down that road.
Was I in the car?
Yeah, I was pregnant with you.
Oh, well, I was definitely a rider.
And I would go off towards the edge, and I could look down and see the houses at the bottom of the mountain. And then I would swirl back and get back on the road, and then I'd turn around again. And I just took my hands off the wheel, and I said, God, I got 2 babies back home, and I'm carrying one. This is your car. And I ended up facing back up the mountain in a snowdrift.
Wow.
And the state patrolman came over to me, said, roll down your window, and I did. And he said, get the H out of here before somebody hits you coming down.
And right now we have my mom live.
I'm not sure how live I am. I just had a terrible example for all you young people out there of trying to work a telephone and a computer all at one time when you're on morphine. I just wanted to say that everybody out there, that maybe he has changed a lot of lives, but the Christian Guard Show has changed Robbie Dillmore's life. And it could hardly get any better, but as his mom, I'm going to tell you, he's getting better and better. I love you all over there. Bye.
So I got a chance to honor my mom, and now it's your chance to honor your mom. I had this idea years ago with My Mother, the Car thing that Jerry Van Dyke did. It was a TV show in the 60s for those of you who aren't familiar with it. But I thought, wouldn't it be just a cool thing to picture your mother as some kind of a car, right? And if she was, what kind of car would she be? And so back then I said my mother was a Jeep Grand Cherokee because she was beautiful and elegant, but she was very resourceful, as you might could tell from that clip, which, by the way, Dr. Sonny was in that clip, who went to be with the Lord a couple years before my mother did. And wow, she was on morphine in that last little bit where you could hear it in her voice, but you could see she had something to say, and she still said it. In spite of the pain that she was in, she passed away with bone cancer. But along those lines of just thinking of your mother and wanting to honor your mother, as I said, my mother was very resourceful, beautiful, and elegant, like a Grand Wagoneer, Jeep Grand Wagoneer, actually, is what I had dubbed her back then. But yet, she carried all the kids to all the stuff, would go wherever we wanted to go. She got it done. This is your chance to call and honor your mom. I wish you would. I would love to hear the stories. I would love to hear about your mom. This show would be so wonderful if we could get a lot of tributes, and I'm hoping that you will do that. 866-348-7884, 866-34-TRUTH. If you're digitally gifted, the number again, 866-348-7884. A tribute to your mother. What kind of car would she remind you of? I would love to hear it. Of course, Jerry Van Dyke's mother was a 1928 Porter, if you ever saw the car, which was really cool. And so we want to hear about that. Of course, we have a particular fondness for mothers here because we, at the Christian Car Guy Show, help out with single moms, widows, and families in crisis with the Jesus Labor of Love. And so coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to share some updates, some prayer requests, and some praises, actually, of what God's done through the Jesus Labor of Love, which again is for single moms, widows, families in crisis, in some cases veterans, but that's coming up in just a few minutes. And then at the end of the show, in our appraisal by the Real Black Book, that's where we search the Bible for hidden treasure, cry out for discernment, lift up our voice for understanding. I have a little segment on something my mother I know would want me to talk about. I told a lie, and I told it horribly in church in front of a pastor. And so God had a little work to do with the Christian Car Guy. I hope you don't have me too up on a pedestal. You found out, Robbie can be a liar. Well, I was, and I want to share that story and a dream that I had as a result. And that's coming up in the last segment in our appraisal by the Real Black Book. Of course, I would urge you to like our page on Facebook. That tribute to my mother is there with some slides of her growing up and with us as a family. It's there on our Facebook at Christian Car Guy, of course. And then, of course, at the website, we also have the podcasts of all previous shows. But essentially, the one of the cool things is the Christian Car Guy Theater, which we're all the way up to just Jailhouse Justice Part 13. So you can get access to all these posts, my story about being a liar, these updates about the Jesus Labor of Love, and, of course, the tribute to my mother. It's all there at ChristianCarGuy.com or our Facebook page. You can go there, and we're on Twitter, too, at Christian Car Guy. So we have Mark is in Greenville, South Carolina. Hopefully we can get part of this in. Mark, you're on the Christian Car Guy Show. Tell me about your mom.
Yes, my mom was quite a unique lady. She was an only child, and she didn't like that very much. So when she got married, she promptly had 11 children. No miscarriages, no twins that I know of. And she was a fabulous lady, wonderful violinist. She encouraged me in my art. She gave me lessons. She provided lessons for me in watercolor when I was just 7. And I'm still doing art today. Just a godly lady. Every afternoon at 2, she would have her devotions, and then she would take a short little nap after she had taught violin all morning. And but I relate to her a Volvo station wagon. It's actually the car that she drove. and I can't think of her other one. Was very capacious for all of her children and needs. Of course, that actually wasn't the vehicle that we would travel in my youth, because it was more like a Dodge Polaris or a much larger station wagon, Oldsmobile.
There are 10 of you in a Volvo would be quite a
station wagon.
Yeah.
Station wagons are my favorite thing. In fact, just for fun, I got a 1959 Edsel of candy apple red.
Oh, Mark, I hope you'll stay on with us. We got to go to a break. Can you stay on?
Certainly.
Please. Well, we'll get back with Mark, and we need your tribute. What about your mom? What kind of car would she be? 866-348-7884. 866-34-TRUTH. So much more. Christian Car Guy Show coming up. Stay tuned.
Yo, you're talking to your mother. Show a little respect, will you? You only got one mother. Take care of her. Appreciate her. Show a little respect.
It's Mother's Day weekend here on the Christian Car Guy Show. And we're doing a little My Mother the Car show today with an opportunity for you to give a tribute to your mother. I shared one of my mother who's passed away, but I'm hoping your mother's still alive, but still we can honor her here with in sort of a neat way. We just heard from Mark, who's in Greenville, who's talking about a Volvo, but you need to call us and with yours. The number to call is 866-348-7884. 866-348-7884. Mark was talking about that his mother, he was originally said a Volvo station wagon, which I love station wagons too. And Mark, what you don't know is I sold Volvos for a lot of years, and the Volvo is the safest. You know, it's pretty hard to beat a Volvo for safety, because when a Volvo engineer shows up in the morning, his one thing in the world is to make this the safest car it can possibly be.
I believe it. Yeah.
And so I think that there's nothing like having a safe mom, you know, a safe place to go. And she encouraged you. Are you a full-time artist, or you just enjoy doing watercolor?
Yeah, I'm a full-time artist. I have a wonderful studio in the village of West Greenville. It's a beautifully restored, it's in the process of being restored. It's a very exciting little place now. A lot of, it's attracting a lot of, it's getting interesting when it's attracting a lot of hipster type folk. But I say it in the brightest term of it, not the really seedy kind, but those that are kind of on the cutting edge of aesthetic enlightenment.
Well, you could go to my website and send me a link or something so I can see your work. I would love to see it. You know, if my email address is there.
I will.
And I could even post a link there for people that would. So
I have long enjoyed your show. I remember back when I was living in Greer, and I would be out in the barn doing art and listening to these wonderful impromptu three-point alliterative messages derived from the words of the acrostic of the words of the car. And I called in Edsel, and he said,
"Oh, Dr. Sonny."
Dr. Sonny, it was so glorious.
He was a treasure. He was a brilliant man. I never knew anybody that could think as quick on their feet as Dr. Sonny.
Unbelievable.
And he was so comical. Oh, I loved him. He was a wonderful man. Well, Mark, you've made my day. Thank you so much for calling in today. And what was your mom's name?
Her name was Joan. And she was just a gem. She brightened every room that she entered, and she was just brought a lightness to her, to everyone. And you should have heard her play her violin. She was extremely accomplished. She studied at Eastman School of Music. And
oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I was so blessed to have that kind of music to fall asleep by at night. She would be practicing. And
I can imagine. That's
extraordinary lady.
Beautiful stuff. Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing about your mother, Joan.
Thank
God
you
bless.
for your program.
Oh, yeah.
Your continual high-quality listening, great radio every time. And I listen to a lot of radio, but you're way up there on my list.
Well, thank you, Mark. God bless you. I appreciate that. We have a lot of fun. That's the thing. So, God bless. Bye-bye. Well, we need to hear I know you're thinking, I need to tell about my mom. Come on. It's not hard. I would love to hear the story. I would love to hear it. 866-348-7884. And even if you don't have a car, after I hear your story, maybe I can put in my mind to what kind of car we can come up with. That might be fun. I would love to hear it. Please call us. 866-348-7884 is a number to call in and share. Now, I did want to, again, it's so neat that we get to partner with so many different repair facilities and all you that donate to the Jesus Labor Love. And so, this has grown and grown and grown over the years. I can't even sometimes imagine how we get linked up to all these people from all over the country. But I wanted to share these prayer requests for moms since, a lot of moms are struggling right now. And, they're kind of alone and their kids are young. So here's some that came in, just over the last week or so in fact, actually all came in last week. And I would love to share them with you. It says, here's a mom in North Carolina. She says, I think I may need brakes or rotors and an oil change. I have to take my son to and from school each day. He attends a charter school. He became displaced about 2 years ago in Georgia. My husband, his father, abandoned us. We lost our home, our car, our furniture, and everything. Even had to give away the dog. I lost my job, and we had to move here into Greensboro with a friend initially, and for a few months after arriving, things were all fine. I eventually found a job, and I had to work late evenings. My little boy has made the honor roll in Georgia here and has recently received the Whole Brain Award at school while trying to adjust to our new life. He is an amazing kid. I just need my car fixed, please, if you can help. Thank you. God bless. Here's one from a mom in Texas. Now, don't forget, we're going to run out of time, and you're not going to have enough time to get in your mother's tribute. So call us, 866-348-7884, because I got something for the last segment. So don't wait till then to call us. We want to hear about your mom. 866-348-7884. So here's one, a mom in Texas. She says, I have a 99 Nissan Maxima that I got from a family friend. I got the tune-up and oil change gotten taken care of, but I think the alternator is messed up. The battery keeps dying. It stalls when I'm turning. A little back history. I am 22 with 2 boys, ages 2 and 5 months. I stopped working due to a tough pregnancy, and I was always in and out of the hospital. My first child's dad has completely avoided helping me, dodging child support. The father of my second procrastinates on finding a job, so I'm taking care of the others by myself. I will get a job, and it will last about a week due to transportation. I get very excited, basically, and wait until the day. Again, I will finish this story when we come back. We would love to hear your story about your mom, your opportunity to maybe compare her to some car that you love. 866-348-7884 is the number to call in and share. 866-34-TRUTH. So much more. Christian Car Guy Show coming up.
A 1928 Ford, that's my mother, dear. She helps me through everything I do, and I'm so glad she's here. My mother the car, my mother the car.
It's Mother's Day weekend here on the Christian Car Guy Show, and I have always loved doing tributes for moms because mine meant so very much to me. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear your tribute. And if you got a car that it relates to, I would love to hear that too. 866-348-7884 is the number to call in and share your tribute. 866-348-7884. We have Diane is in North Carolina. Diane, you are on the Christian Car Guy Show. Good morning.
Hi. How
Hi.
are you?
I am wonderful. I would love to hear about your mom.
Good. Well, Robbie, I wanted to thank you and for your prayers when my mom was passing away.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think of you with, losing your mom. And, yep, they're precious. And I think maybe even you had a team of people praying for me and praying for us during that time. Maybe even your mother.
She was. She actually was, because back then she was the head of my
radio
She was the head of our prayer team. And, in fact, she used to call me up short when I didn't give her updates on people. And she had a real passion for that. And now that you've been talking, I know which Diane you are. And it's so great to hear from you again. So tell me a little bit about your mother.
Well, she was brought up in the Depression, so God help you, couldn't waste anything.
Mine too, I get that.
She had to save everything, and I'm bad like that. I don't know what I'm waiting for, I don't.
If your mom was like mine, if she had bad milk, you don't throw away bad milk, you use it for the pancakes.
For what?
Oh, it makes like special kind of pancakes. My mother.
Pancake. Oh, like buttermilk, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So she worked, and so later in her life, I got to know her a little bit better, and it was fun. So.
What was her name, Diane?
Sue.
Sue.
Susie. Some people called her. We didn't, but it's like that. Yeah. I didn't know your name was Sue. I just thought your name was Mom. Yeah.
I posted a picture like that on my Facebook page.
Right. Was that yours?
Yeah, it was mine. It says, you mean to tell me your real name isn't Mom?
I love that, yeah.
Well, God bless you, Diane. Thank you so much.
Blessings to all you guys. And I love the ministry that you do there, helping the moms, and God bless you and your wife.
Well, thank you, Diane.
At the station.
Yeah, she's doing really well since we had our troubles earlier in the year, but she was completely recovered, and so we're very blessed. Thank you, Diane. You keep up the great work. And
yes, guys.
God bless. Bye-bye.
All right. God bless us all. Bye-bye.
All right, we have Dawn is in Washington State. If you want to call in and share your tribute, we'd love to hear from you about your mom. 866-348-7884, 866-34-TRUTH. Dawn, tell me about your mom.
Well, my mom was born in 1919, but she was a Ford person for the most part. And she had an old 49 Ford that had been reclaimed from police department. And she and my grandma were in Everett one day, and a car full of kids came up to the light and were gunning the motor, the way they used to challenge other cars.
Oh, and I can hear it.
My mom looked over at my grandma and she says, "Now don't you say a word." And that's when the light turned green, my mom hit it, and they came up to the light and looked over at that car. What on earth did this little old lady have in that car? But that was my mama. She was born in 1919, and I lost her 2014.
Yeah, it is so hard, and I have shed many tears putting my own tribute together this week. Believe me, I had to listen to it about 100 times just to make sure when I played it on the air I didn't cry like a baby. But we're praying for it.
Well, thank you very much for what you do.
We'll be reunited in heaven, won't we, Dawn?
Yes.
It's going to be glorious.
Yes, indeed.
We sure will.
And we lost our daughter last year, and her name was Helen, and she was named after my mama, and she was laid to rest on 2 years from the day that my mom passed, or 3 years from the day my mom passed.
That's interesting. My grandmother, who was actually, I think she was born in 1918, was also named Helen, and I have a niece who's Helen. And so apparently that was a popular name.
Well, what was interesting was, as my daughter was fighting clear cell sarcoma cancer up in Canada. Her daughter became pregnant, and they lived down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and she named her Lucille Helen after my mom and her mom. And the thing about Lucille was that they'd sit and watch Lucille Ball together.
My wife loves Lucy. Oh, absolutely. Well, God bless you, Dawn. Thank you so much for calling in today. And you have a great Mother's Day weekend.
Program and everything you do. God bless you also. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. God bless. All right, we have a few more minutes, but not long, so you got to call us. 866-348-7884 is the number to call in and share your tribute. We would love to hear it. 866-34-TRUTH. Again, I wanted to highlight a couple of these prayer requests on the Jesus Labor Love list that we have. If you've never heard our show before, it's car repair labor for single moms, widows, and families in crisis. We have a number of car repair centers across the country that help us sometimes with the labor. Sometimes we receive donations, which are what a blessing. I mean, just huge blessing, the donations. And if I wish that the people that donated that could hear the joy in the mother's voice often when I tell them that we can help them out with a little bit of the part price or whatever. And so I'm going to get to those in a minute, but here's one from a single mom in New York. She says, hello, due to illness, I had to take early retirement and was completely denied full pension by my employer. I'm not getting by, and it's pretty much hand to mouth with pills. I need to stay alive and doctor visits. When I contract something I can defeat alone, like pneumonia, or when I have cataract surgery. My car is overdue for an inspection, and I believe it needs a couple of tires, possibly more, in order to pass inspection, and I can't afford the tires. Can you please help? I'm so afraid of getting pulled over and ticketed, and I can't afford that either. So if we can pray for these single moms, the last one, as you might tell, is a widow as well. But also, I do want to say a few praises. We have praises for rear brakes for a mom in Raleigh. There was $139 contributed that paid for that, and Harris Automotive helped us out there. And we replaced a CV joint for a mom in Durham, North Carolina. $250 of your donations went to that, and we were also helped by Meineke Mufflers there in Durham. And then there was towing for a mom in Raleigh, North Carolina, and brakes for a mom in Utah, $250, and we were helped out there by Burt Brothers Tires. All that happened as a result of the money that y'all give so wonderfully to the Jesus Labor Love. We have Roxanne, who is in North Carolina. Roxanne, you're on the Christian Car Guy Show. Tell me about your mom.
Unfortunately, my biological mom. Good morning, by the way.
Oh, that's good to hear from you. Yeah. Well, tell me about the mom that you consider mom.
The Maxine Logan. I met her in my later years, and that's when the Lord showed me what a mom really does for you. This woman one day she met me, and she fell in love with me, and I fell in love with her, and she asked, can I adopt your children as my grandchildren? I said, go for it, and she became my family. She became my mom, and her husband, Harry, became my dad, and I got ill, and they took care of me.
Wow.
And I tell you, Maxine is in my heart all the time. She passed away out of Parkinson's disease. Her death was really sad, and when she died, I missed her. But during the time that I met her, I thank the Lord for that, because that's when you know what a real mom is like, when they give you so much love and they never ask for anything back. So I'm thankful for Maxine, although she's not here any longer. But I know that there's many women out there like her that are willing to give of their love. So,
well, God bless you. Thank you for sharing that. And wow, how God sends people into our life when we really need them. It's amazing. Thank you, Roxanne. We got lots more lined up to share. Mr. Ryder's in Utah, and Sarah's in Everett, Washington. Call with your tribute, 866-348-7884.
Ain't that what you say? Ain't that what you say? Ain't that what you say?
Now, you may be wondering, Robbie, what in the world? Well, my mom would have me do this, which I'm going to do at the end of the show in our Appraisal by the Real book, talking about a lie that I told and what God showed me as a result of that. But before we do that, I've got these other tributes. I want to try to get to them as fast as I can. We have Mr. Ryder is in Utah. Mr. Ryder, you're on the Christian Car Guy Show. Good morning.
Good morning to you. And it's a rainy day out here, but it brought back memories of my mother and my driving experience with her.
Okay.
In a 29 Model A Ford.
Wow. Okay.
I was under 5 years of age and standing in the right side passenger area and decided to pull out on that shiny little button that was down there. It was better known as the choke.
Yeah. Okay.
End result was I got scolded very well.
Did the car
and
die?
told to sit in the seat. No seat belts back then.
Oh, yeah.
But, yes, Mother was wonderful, well ahead of her time, with all the health foods that she had us eating. And I couldn't help but think of when you said milk that was sent for, that was saved for the pancakes. You betcha. We got to use every bit of it.
That's right.
Yep. I got a car guy question for you.
Okay.
I have a 1990 Lincoln Town Car, and the CV valve on the side of the power steering. Where can I get one?
Wow.
I have tried. We've tried. Well, this has been going on since November, trying to get that valve. Or is there a bypass way to do away with that, to plug that port and do away with the hoses that are there and not have a problem? So
the good news is there's a lot of people a lot of people do some conversions with those systems because Lincoln had some problems with them. So I'm saying that there's probably going to be a way. However, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I do know a guy. I know a guy. So if you wouldn't mind, you can either go to my website and get my email address, or under Ask an Expert, or my connection, contact information at ChristianCarGuy.com, or I'll just give it to you real quick. My email is rdilmore, like Robbie, and then Dilmore, which is DILMORE at truthnetwork.com. And so if you send me an email, I will see what I can find out for you and get back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'll have to wait until the daughter comes by because I don't have email capability.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, in that case, I will give you my phone number. Have you got a pen? But I'm gonna, when I give this out, the last time I did this on the air, somebody called me about 11 o'clock at night because they were listening to a show where they thought I was live because some of my shows air other places. So if this is after 10 at night, don't call me. But it's 336-909-2779. But wait till Monday or so. I'll try to get that information for you, okay?
336-909. Give me the last four.
2779.
2779. Robbie Gilmore.
Yes, the Dilmore with a D, as in David.
Dilmore.
Yes.
Okay.
God bless. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Ryder. All right.
Appreciate you. God bless, and have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye. Well, we got Sarah is in Washington. She's been holding on forever. We got to give her a chance. Sarah, I hope you can go quick.
Hi, good morning.
I hate to cut your time short after you waited so long. Tell me about your mom.
I had a very, very precious mother, born in 1892.
Wow.
And way out on the farm in rural Nebraska. Had 4 daughters, like year and a half apart. And then along came 2 sons, and 10 years later, I came along. And she was a very precious, loving the Lord, along with my dad. And she had actually gone by a covered wagon from Missouri to Kansas, and they drove their cattle and things by barge across the Missouri River and then into Kansas. Anyway, my sweet dear mom, I don't know how she did it with those little girls and no wash machine, frigid weather in the winter for all those little diapers. But anyway, she was a marvelous mom. And when I went to college, she had taught 1 year after high school in a one-room school. And her 4 daughters all were one-room school teachers. And, of course, that's all I knew to do when I graduated from high school. And I went to college and then taught right out of the September after I graduated by going to college in the summer. And the next summer, my mom went to college for the first time.
Really?
She was 60, and the registrar said, "Oh, Mrs. Noble, there was somebody in that was 55 years old." And my mom just smirked because she was 60 and going to college.
And she'd come to Washington in a covered wagon. You know, it's funny. My mother went back to college, I think, when she was in her 50s to become a nurse. That's amazing.
That was back in Nebraska.
Oh, wow. Well, Sarah, I hate to cut you off. Well,
from the covered wagon, and then I was married, and my husband and I were missionaries in the Philippines, and my mom came to the Philippines on a jet at the age of 78 and visited us in the Philippines. And she loved it. She loved people. She taught us about the Lord, and I just highly give her high praise because of her faith and love and what she extended to her family.
And so, Sarah, wow. I mean, with all that, do you have a car that you would compare your mother? I mean, she came over in a covered wagon, went to college when she was 60. What an amazing woman.
She was. And one car incident was when I was 4 years old. She was driving into the little town nearby on a 4th of July, and there was a young guy that was hurrying out to the wheat field for harvest. And as he came around the corner, as we were, he slammed into us. And but he was in such a hurry, found out it didn't hurt very much, and he went on, and poor Mom and I had to walk about a mile into the little town, and they were shooting off firecrackers, and that was such a traumatic experience that I would hold my ears on 4th of July when I was little. Just didn't like those firecrackers.
Oh, I would imagine. What a horrible experience. Wow, back in the day. Well, now we gotta go. Sarah, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that. And your mother sounded like quite a lady. What was her name?
Verda Noble.
Verda Noble. God bless you. Thank you, Sarah.
Precious Christian who loved Jesus so much and taught all of us.
And I hope to meet you all in heaven. It's going to be amazing. Thank you, Sarah. God bless. Well, I didn't get to my liar thing, which I really needed to repent of, but you can read the whole story at ChristianCarGuy.com, or you can find a link at our Facebook page of the lie I told in church and what happened with all that. I would love you to check that out at ChristianCarGuy.com, but thank you. What it really means the world to me to hear all these stories, and for all the moms. Wow, I'm praising God for so many moms out there. And we all need to, my mom would tell us to slow down. Jesus walked everywhere he went and got it all done in 33 years. Thank you for listening.